So that's the benefit of the BO6 gun. You could pen more. Or would you rather be able to reload faster and get a free wildcard slot? And a gun that's easier to control and has a higher practical time to kill at pretty much every range. For me, the answer to that question is I'll use MW3 gun. And I think the SVA is the best gun of the MW3 suite. Do you have the link to it? Put it underneath. You do.
No, I find a better res at some point. That was just like an IGN article.
Gotcha.
Idiot.
We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 477. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today I'm joined by Tanner, and we've got some fun and exciting stuff to talk about today. Are you fun and excited?
Sure, yeah. Area 99, okay. Warzone.
Area 99, Warzone. Yeah, so today what we're doing, basically talking about Warzone, kind of somewhat focused on Area 99, but not necessarily totally. It's going to be more kind of just like a yap sesh about Warzone. Now, for those of you who are patrons, you've heard our thoughts in our latest episode, which we just released this morning. We'll talk about that more. But this is kind of going to be a continuation of that episode. So what we're going to do today, we have a couple little pro tips for you, and then a lot of just kind of, I don't know, stream of consciousness, kind of just thoughts we've had that we've written down, and further things we can maybe expect to change or improve or not, and then things we can't. But a lot of this is going to be kind of tips and tricks, and that's what we're actually going to start with. So yeah, let me in fact do this, and this. Okay. All right. So if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, please hit the like button. It helps the algorithm and stuff. So if you're a YouTube enjoyer, like the goddamn episode, and like all of them in the future. Because I don't want to have to say this every time, but I could.
Yeah,
if we have fewer likes than views, I will be saying it every time. So make sure you do your part. Now, today, Warzone. So yeah, we did it. We played quite a bit yesterday after the pod. I played quite a bit more this morning. And so we have a lot of things to say about it. One thing we had talked about on Patreon, which I've since been able to test with a lot of confidence, was whether you should even use Black Ops 6 guns, primarily the AR/LMG, your primary slot. Because like the difference between an MW3 SMG, which I've used, I've been using the Striker, versus a BO6 SMG like the PP19, they feel to me pretty similar. There's not really much of a difference.
Yeah.
There is insofar as they're different guns, but like the difference between, I don't know, a Striker and a like Jackal versus like a Jackal and a PP19, it's the same type. It's just because they're different guns. That's the only reason they feel different. When it comes to ARs, though, that is absolutely not the case. So BO6 guns have, MW3 guns have a lot of advantages right now that, in my opinion, make them more attractive than BO6 guns when you're talking about your AR or your LMG. One of them is you can't use Gunfighter with it, so you can only use 5 attachment slots. Now that might sound like a negative. However, because of the types of attachments MW3 guns are allowed to have that BO6 guns are not, you actually get an easier to control, easier to use, and faster reloading AR without having to use a wild card. So you can take Overkill, so you don't have to buy your second gun, or you can take even Bandolier, which gives you a free ammo satchel, munition satchel, which actually is pretty strong. The reserve ammo is one thing, and I do like that for reasons we'll get into, because it's very hard to actually top off your ammo, whether you have a satchel or not. But even more than that, being able to hold 4 smokes or stims or Semtex versus just 2 is a really big deal.
Yeah.
That you will notice lots. And that's going to be even more true when ranked comes out. I am really, really going to need an ammo satchel for ranked, like straight up. Because you can't carry smokes in your backpack anymore. You can't carry extra munis in your backpack anymore. So what I had done was looked at like true game data, and I was looking at a lot of the MW3 ARs. And I was like, okay, what looks good? Like just like on paper, what looks good compared to, BO6 ARs that are in vogue. So what I did was I went to BO6 and I added the 2 guns everyone's using, which are the XM4 and the GPR91. And then I went to MW3 and I added a bunch. But the ones that stand out to me, or the one that stood out to me, which is the one I've been using, is the SVA 545. This is a full auto assault rifle that has been meta before last year. Lots. Most of the time when people were using it, they were doing like the tap fire stuff. That's probably still the best way to use it, maybe. I have not been doing that though. I've just been using it full auto and benefiting from the hyperburst when my first couple shots come out. And even using it as just a normal standard full auto AR, it has a faster time to kill than both the XM4 and the GPR91 by, what is that? I hate this website, man. By about 52 milliseconds if you're hitting chest, and still about 52 milliseconds if you're hitting combo shots, up to 36 meters without any attachments. So when you add in the long barrel, then that range is extended even farther. And then out of that range, you're not killing much slower. Like an XM4 kills 750 milliseconds versus 800 at 37 meters. And then there's another damage drop off for both of them, but then it's still only killing 50 milliseconds faster, the XM4, versus the 30 milliseconds faster than the SVA. So like that time to kill difference is pretty insubstantial in my opinion at that range, because the SVA kills faster up close, up to again like 37 meters before attachments. But keep in mind, you're probably hitting most of your shots inside of that damage range. As you approach the 37 number, maybe you start missing some, but like with both guns, you're probably like hitting everything. So therefore SVA is probably better because it kills faster. Outside of that damage range, at the damage range, the XM4 or GPR start to kill more quickly than the SVA, which is very late for the GPR, by the way. That is at a range that is so far at that point that you're going to be missing shots with both guns, but you're going to be missing fewer shots with the SVA because a 5 attachment SVA is far easier to use and hit shots on people far away with than an 8 attachment GPR91 or XM4 by a lot. So my practical time to kill is always faster with an SVA, And I get a free wildcard slot since I don't have to run Gunfighter. And by the way, its velocity is on par, about the same. Its time to kill is better, like we've gone over. And it reloads, and I can't stress this enough, much, much, much faster than the GPR or XM4. And when I say that, I mean a 60-round SVA mag reloads way faster than a 60-round XM4 or GPR mag. It's kind of insane. So what is the reason to run a BO6 AR? I would say there are two. Reason number one, because they're the new guns and you want to use the new stuff. And that's totally fair. I respect that. I was doing that. I'm over it now. But if that's the camp you're in, fine. Reason number two, BO6 guns have infinitely more bullet pen, which is relevant. So in my opinion, the question for you should be, do I prefer being able to pen everything, which is a genuinely big upside, by the way. I'm not like discounting that. It's a good thing, and it doesn't work on the MW3 guns. You cannot pen even close like you can with the BO6 guns. I tested it today. It's really obvious.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of the BO6 gun. You could pen more. Or would you rather be able to reload faster and get a free wildcard slot? And a gun that's easier to control and has a higher practical time to kill at pretty much every range. For me, the answer to that question is I'll use an MW3 gun. And I think the SVA is the best gun of the MW3 suite. I haven't used all of them, but like on paper, they all look kind of worse than the SVA. And I've used the SVA already, and I know it feels really good, and it's very easy to hit shots with. It also handles like relatively quickly, by the way. Like aim down sight time is like pretty good. Strafe speed and stuff, it all feels like pretty good also. So
well, that's the other
thing. It really
thing.
Doesn't have weaknesses other than pen.
The handling on the MW3 guns is definitely worse. Once you get attachments and everything on there too, because on the BO6 guns, when you're putting attachments on it, you're not losing ADS time. For the MW3 guns, because I built one yesterday, you're making your ADS time slower with every attachment you put on, basically. So it ends up, so like by default, with no attachments, they're about the same. But by the time you build them out, the MW3 guns are a lot slower. That's what ends up happening too.
I will actually build a couple out so we can look at numbers, because it didn't feel like that to me, honestly.
Because the BP50 felt like it ADS 200 milliseconds slower than an XM4 once you get the attachments on it.
Oh, yeah, well, but the SVA, that's another kind of reason. I haven't tried the BP50, but the SVA has always handled pretty fast for an AR. Like it did last year, you know what I mean? So most people run extended mag 2. And then most people run recoil springs, and then the infiltrator stock.
The Holger 556 also looks very good on paper.
Yeah, I didn't try that. Holger 5 handled slow last year, so I didn't even bother trying it, honestly.
It kills like a lot faster than the SVA, it seems like. God, True Game Data's website has gotten so bad. It's just the laggiest website I've ever used. Yeah, Holger and BP50 both seem good if you're just looking at strictly time to kill.
How did that sound?
Like something. Yeah, I guess the website just doesn't work now.
Okay, well, I'm building a couple of guns here, so let me see. So let me just build the SVA, how I'm using it. So that is... And by the way, a big reason the MW3 guns are so much easier to control than the BO6 guns, despite having 3 fewer attachments, is for exactly the reason Tanner just mentioned. You can still use some really impactful MW3 attachments, such as the quartermaster suppressor. Like, you can't put that on a BO6 gun. So you're getting a ton of recoil control from one attachment that you can't even match with 3 attachments from BO6. So it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me finish building this real quick. I think that's the right barrel. Yes. Okay, optic. I put on the Eagle Eye. Let's see. Recoil stock, which is
Using a
this
stock
one.
on that thing, huh?
Oh
On that
yeah,
SVA?
full recoil control, buddy. Yeah, and then mag 60 dumper. Okay, so let's see stat graphs. We are going to look at, what do we care about? Aim down sight time. You are correct. XM4 253, SVA 368. That is actually a really big difference. It doesn't feel that bad though.
What's the difference?
253 to 368. That's a huge difference. That's 110 milliseconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty bad.
ADS move speed's a lot faster with the XM4.
That's kind of what it comes down to. So like in heads-up gunfights too, if somebody's using a BO6 gun and they're within range of hitting their shots, they're going to win the gunfight every single time just based on the handling. But I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't experience that really, because when I'm starting to get heads up, I usually have my SMG out by then. Like for big map especially, it just never matters to me that my gun ADS is 100 milliseconds more slowly.
Yeah.
Honestly. So you guys should try it out is my point. Because it's also very nice to just have Overkill for free. Or if you're a real tryhard, I would probably do Bandolier as your wild card. Or you could even do the one that gives you a free UAV just for fun to mess around with.
But yeah, you could.
Yeah, don't. I've just been doing Overkill because it's easy. But I think this is going to be a more relevant question again. If you plan on playing ranked, you should right now start using some BO6 ARs, experiment with them. Evidently, there are some other good ones. So SVA was one I tried. But you were saying what, the Holger 556?
Holger and BP50 both seem good as well. I saw people saying like TikToks and Booyah was like, oh, the MCW's meta. It's not. It's terrible. The MCW conversion kit is very fast killing for an SMG if you want to use that as a close range. But MCW, don't ignore what people say about it. It's not good. It's terrible.
Yeah. The SVA looks like just a better Holger.
What do you?
The same
I don't
time
have
to
the
kill.
website open anymore.
Oh.
Because it's a bad website and it kept lagging out.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I don't know. You guys can go to True Game Data and look at stuff, but the ones to try, in my opinion, are the SVA and a BP50, because it kills a little faster up to like 26 meters. Probably 30 with attachments. I would say those are like the relevant ones to try. Based on these numbers, I don't see a reason to use the Holger 556 at all. Especially because it handles so much slower, I think, than an SVA. We're not going to like build it out for you guys here. It's boring to listen to. But the point is, yeah, experiment with them, because if it is the case for you, like it is for me, that it's way easier to hit shots on people far away, and therefore your practical time to kill on people far away is way faster with an MW3 gun than a BO6 gun, you should know that. And especially, again, because it gives you a free wildcard slot. That's the big other advantage it gives you. Yeah. But yeah, and I think that's only because, though, to be fair, you can put a quartermaster suppressor on MW3 guns. So you have one attachment that's doing more than like 3 BO6 attachments. It is actually easier to hit shots and you get a free wild card. But you will miss out a lot on the pen. So if you're not using tracker, stop. You should start using tracker. But if you're really insistent on not using tracker, then I don't think there's almost any reason to use a BO6 gun, honestly. Like, you're getting nothing out of it. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But we had been talking about that on Patreon on the episode that went live today. And I can absolutely confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt, feels way better to use. So keep that in mind. As far as SMGs, on the other hand, I was using the PP19, which felt good. And then I tried the Jackal a little bit because everyone's saying that's insane. I don't like the iron sights, so I don't like the Jackal.
Irons. Those are controller irons. I'm surprised you don't like them.
Yeah, they are controller irons. They're like usable, but had some close calls with people getting under them. So I was like, I'm uncomfortable with these. So I got off of it. So then I was like, you know what? I wonder how an MW3 SMG would feel. So then I was like, I want to find something like a PP19, but an MW3 SMG, and see if like that makes any sense. So I built a striker with a quartermaster suppressor on it because it has excellent irons, no stock, 60 dumper, although usually you would go 48, but I just wanted to try the 60. And then whatever, 2 other attachments. Long barrel and the Sprintifier rear grip. And it felt almost exactly the same as a PP19. Like the fire rate's the same, the handling's the same, the recoil's the same. The iron sights are really good on both. It's actually like they feel like the same gun. They look different, but they feel exactly the same. So if I went into the numbers and used them both a lot more, I could probably pick out some minor differences, but is there a reason to use an MW3 sub? No, I don't think it's worth it, because if they feel identical to me, well, then obviously I should take the BO6 one because it can pen lots and the MW3 one cannot. So I think the meta setup for me right now is a MW3 AR, BO6 SMG, because you get to keep that bullet pen and you're not really missing out on anything in the same way you are missing out on a lot if you don't use an MW3 assault rifle. So I think this is like a big and important thing to say, by the way. I'm sure other people are somewhat talking about this, but for all of you who are, you know, trying to like do really well, you might not have even thought to like, hey, try the old guns. There still are some that are really good. Not the DTIR and not the STG. I've looked, they're terrible. So don't use those.
Yeah.
But again, SVA, BP50, you guys can go look at more numbers, but I think there's a lot to be said for those weapons. So
yeah, I like when people make these TikToks and just literally get on there and lie. Like I saw a few that were like, the STG is the fastest killing primary in Warzone. So just now when I was looking at shooting data, I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw the STG up on there. It's like 200 milliseconds slower at the first damage range than like every other AR that I had on the list. It wasn't even close. Classic. It's so bad.
Classic, yeah. So anyway, give that a shot. That was, yeah, I just wanted to get that out there because now that I've tried it, I'm like trying to get everyone to like, hey, use it. It's really good. Okay, next thing. You have a dedicated melee slot now in Warzone. So most of you probably haven't really thought about it, and you just like had a knife in that slot. So you've just been using that. But Jake had said something to Cope, like, why do you have a chocolate bar? And
yeah,
it was like a stupid, like a Karambit blueprint or something. So then that made me go look at my melee slot, and there are a lot of options. You have like 7 different dojo implements from MW2, 7 more from MW3, and then 2 from BO6. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, these are all kind of like skins of the same thing, I'm assuming. So I'm going to like just for shits and also giggles put on the soul render. I don't know if this is from MW2 or MW3, but it's one of those two. It's not a BO6 weapon.
MW3.
But it's just a melee weapon. It looks like it's like a straight sword, like a thin straight sword of some kind. Like a fencing sword almost, maybe. I don't really know. But whatever. They call it the soul render. So I was like, okay,
soul render.
So I put that on. And I was running around with it in the pregame lobby, and I was like, oh, this sucks because it takes up way more of your peripheral vision because it's longer. I was like, it's probably not worth using. I also wonder if the movement speeds are different, by the way. That's another thing I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there have been different movement speeds for different melee weapons in the past. I don't know if there are still differences, and if there are, I don't know what moves more quickly than anything else. So that's a big asterisk on what I'm about to say. However, when I was messing around with the soul render, so when you're running around with a combat knife in Warzone and you right trigger someone, you give them a London special. You just cut them. And then you have to do it like 8 times to get it down in Warzone, which is based. and I support that. I don't want them to be good. So at killing people, the knife is just not good, the standard knife you have. So the Soul Render, I was going to run around and just start cutting people some more. But instead, I pressed right trigger, and all of a sudden, I'm in an animation, and the guy is also stuck in an animation, and I like slash him and then cut his head off, and he's dead.
Jesus, man.
So I was like, wait a minute. Is this like a hack? Because let's say you're playing whatever, Area 99, you're the last one alive, you're very low health, so you get out your melee weapon to try to run into a building and plate up or get away or whatever, and some guy is chasing you. If you have a knife in that instance, you start stabbing him, he's just going to shoot you and kill you. But if you have a Soul Render and you can lock him in an animation and then instant kill him, that's obviously way better. Like, you can stop them from shooting you by animation locking them. So that might be a cheat code, is my point. You might want to run that. Now, I have a couple caveats. I was messing around with it more. Sometimes you enter the animation when I right trigger, and sometimes you do, in fact, just slash and don't enter an animation. I don't understand how it works.
Probably because they have to be within lunge distance. I think that's what it would be, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If there was,
I was getting hit markers in either case, though, so I feel like I was close enough either way. But maybe you're right, because I don't know how it works. There were times when I was just slashing, and there were also times when I was animation locking someone. I don't know how it works. So if any of you know how it works, please let me know. And I also don't know if it's actually a one-hit kill on someone full plated or not. I would assume it is, because the animation is like you disembowel the guy, but I don't really know for sure. I think it is,
because it's a whole animation. If it doesn't one-tap, then it's weird.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I think it would, yeah.
So I think it does, too. I honestly didn't realize the MW2 and MW3 melee weapons were in there.
Yeah, they
Never
are.
looked.
So if anyone knows the answer to this, I would be very curious to know. It would be kind of annoying to test, because I'd have to like find someone who's full health in Warzone and then like hit them a bunch and see when it happens and when it doesn't. I also don't know if like maybe there's a difference between left trigger and right triggering, or left and right mouse buttoning when you have this out. But if you can reliably animation lock an enemy with this in a way that you can't with the knife, and especially if that will one-tap them once you get them in the animation, regardless of their health level, that might just be strictly better than the combat knife. Another caveat, if it doesn't have slower movement speed than the knife, which it might. I don't know. So the tip here is to investigate this, I guess. Look into it. Ultimately, I don't think it matters that much either way, to be honest. Because I mean, if you have to rely on like animation locking someone to not die, you're in a pretty bad spot. You're probably dead either way. But if there is no difference in movement speed, then this just seems like a strictly better combat knife, and there's no reason not to be running it. Yeah. So you should look into that. And I know the bat does have an animation too in multiplayer.
Yeah.
And that's how you can one-tap people in multiplayer. So maybe even a baseball bat would do the same thing in Warzone and have and be, again, strictly better than the knife. That could be true. I don't know.
Yeah.
You do not have to be behind them. No. You do not have to be behind them. That was my first thought. So I tried it in front of someone and it worked. So yeah, I don't know how it works, but something to look into or try out for yourselves. I will also say movement speed doesn't feel slower with the Soul Render.
It's probably the same. Yeah. Cause I know we had talked about that a while ago too. And then like when the game came out, I saw like a TikTok or I saw something where people were discussing that about like if the melee weapons had different movement speeds. And I remember reading something like, well, like, why are there the different melee weapons than if they don't have different movement speeds? And it's like, because they're idiot devs. It's just they just look different. They're all melee weapons. So yeah, I doubt most of them have different movement speeds at all. I think it's just all looks.
Yeah. Well, I know they nerfed the movement speed of the dual
Like the Kali sticks or something, or
Kali sticks, yes.
Yeah.
So it's possible they do.
Did those actually? Precedent. I wonder, did those actually have faster movement speed, or did they just nerf them because those also killed really fast? They lunged really far. I wonder if they just nerfed those ones for some reason.
Relative to other melee weapons, you mean? I think it was specifically those ones, yeah. But this was before dedicated melee slots, so yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. So that's something to look into. I think you're right, though, JKN. My guess would be you don't animate if they are not weak enough to kill with it. If the movement speeds are the same,
interesting.
That still makes that a way better option. Because then, like, obviously, I'm just going to be spamming the trigger regardless. So I'll spam it. I'll hit you once. And then maybe you get like 1 or 2 bullets on me, and then I hit it again. Now you're within 1-hit kill range. Now I animation lock you, guarantee a kill that I otherwise would not have gotten with a knife. That's way better than a knife, like strictly better. The only downside would be it blocks some of your peripheral vision, but like that doesn't really matter that much at all. I would say this anything that you can animation lock like that, baseball bat, soul render, probably other ones, sledgehammer, whatever. Yeah. Then if you were a real sweat nerd, you would be like, okay, I'm going to do the animation on every melee weapon that has one and time them and see which one is the fastest. That would be, in fact, the best one possible. Yeah. If you care that much, go ahead. But I don't. But it just letting you guys know something to look into. Soul Render looks the coolest. So I'm a Soul Render main for now. So yeah, anyway. Another pro tip, by the way. Another good reason to be using MW3 guns. When you enter Prestige, none of the MW3 or 2 guns get relocked. So even, whatever you unlocked at level 40 in MW3,
wow,
that does not get locked. SMGs or ARs or melee weapons,
something
nothing.
I didn't think of, yeah.
I didn't either until I was trying this, and then I would like try the SVA for a game, and then I was able to Prestige, and I was like, oh shit, I wonder if it's going to relock them. It doesn't. So level 1, without having to use a token, I had 2 really good guns instantly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's another pro tip for you. And then another pro tip is favorite loadout feature. You should make sure, even if you are using 2 BO6 guns and you're using Gunfighter, create an Overkill loadout class with an AR and an SMG, whichever ones you're using, and favorite it so that if you find a favorite supply box, one of those red boxes that gives you your favorite loadout weapons, you get 2 very good weapons instead of 1 excellent Gunfighter AR and a pistol. I would much rather, in the case when I care about finding a personal loadout box, I would much rather have 2 5-attachment guns that are full auto than 1 8-attachment gun and a pistol 100% of the time. So yeah, do that. Make an Overkill class, put 5 attachments on, the best 5 you can, so that if you find that box like very early game, then you already have 2 really good guns and you're chilling, and then you can hit your loadout later, what have you. But yeah, I would much rather have a 5-attachment my sub over 3 extra attachments on that AR when I care about that, like before loadout. Mm-hmm. So there's another pro tip, but be careful, because when you actually do hit your loadout, make sure you're not hitting the one you favorited, which you will. You'll make that mistake. I did, but then I stopped. So yeah, there's another pro tip for you. Okay, let's see. Other than that, those are like the only like really giga pro tips I have for you right now. We might think of some more, but now we're going to get into more like gameplay kind of stuff. And some more like second impressions, thoughts, considerations. This is just me whining. Revert the Muni change now. Now. Hey. Now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes this change. I don't understand it.
I remember we read the patch note.
Don't need to be changed.
Not at all. Yeah, we read the patch note about it. And we didn't think about it enough, I guess, but it said something like oh, munis will now give you 2 magazines of all ammo types rather than what it used to do. And I was like, oh, cool. You get ammo for everything, not just the guns you're holding. That actually is a really good quality of life change, because then I can hit a muni kind of whenever and I'm chilling. Wrong. Because what I didn't think about was, before this change, a muni would give you full reserve ammo for the gun you're holding and the gun on your sling. Now it gives you 2 mags. And by the way, what does 2 mags mean? It means 60 rounds. You get 60 AR rounds when you hit a muni. That's it. That's 1 mag, actually. Hope that helps. Really dog shit change.
Yeah, because
really
it must.
an awful change.
Yeah, because it probably just bases it off the default mag size or something, and then it gives you 2 default mags.
Guess, but it's
and
60,
then the thing is too is the ammo caches around the map also give you the same amount.
It's
like, hey, maybe you should differentiate those, and a muni or something should give you less, and at least those ammo caches give you more, just because it would make more sense. It's a giant ammo cache. I can refill more ammo from it, and I get full everything. I don't know. But the muni change should also just be reverted. Yeah, this is really stupid.
Yeah.
It's just classic where they go from one end to the exact opposite. We go from having a backpack system where I could carry 800 backup AR rounds if I wanted to now giving people 60 when they hit a muni. Why? What is the point of that?
I agree. Like,
changing
I see what they were
dumb
going
shit
for.
to change stuff.
Yeah. What they were going for is a good idea, but they, of course, did it wrong. Yeah. Like, just give us full ammo on everything, honestly. Is there really a skill gap in, like, not running out of ammo? I don't think so, honestly. Like, you should make people loot ammo sometimes, so they have to move somewhat. But it's really cringe how often I'm running out of ammo. Just revert the goddamn change.
If anything, that punishes, like, genuinely bad players who will never be good at the game, because they're not like rushing into people. So if these guys are like trying to have these gunfights on Area 99 at 50-60 meters, they're using a whole mag and not even getting a down with it. Those people are just going to run out of ammo and then not be able to refill it because the muni doesn't give them enough.
Yep. Yeah. It's very cringe. The only way to reliably fill up ammo is to like kill someone and run over them.
Yeah.
And hope they had enough. But like, yeah, the amount of munis I'm throwing to times I'm running out of ammo is a sin. Like, this should not be happening.
I wonder if they're trying to make scavenger more relevant too. Kind of want people to rely on perks instead.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, good luck. I'd rather not have ammo than run scavenger, so that'll never be happening. Yeah. It's completely insane. So hate it. Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah. Hey everyone, with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groomed at Family Dinner award, check out the latest masterpiece from MANSCAPED, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. Head over to manscaped.com and join the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use our code DROPSHOT, 20% off and free shipping. Let's dive into the goods. The Chairman Pro is armed with not one, but 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil for when you want that baby's bottom smooth, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep some stubble but clean it up just a little bit. Both keep you looking sharp while minimizing razor burn and irritation, because nobody wants to show up to the holiday party looking like they lost a fight with a Christmas tree. But wait, there's more. The Chairman Pro has Flex Adjust technology, which is basically like the holiday miracle of shaving. It's like Santa's elves made it just for you. The blades and pivoting head adjust to every curve of your face and is gentle on the neck area, as if they had the gift of foresight. You guys know all about foresight. So go ahead, kiss that awkward jawline patch goodbye. No more pretending it doesn't exist while you hope nobody notices under the mistletoe. And if you want even more precision, on the right side of the bracket, there is a precision lock. When you lock it, the blade head sits firm so you can achieve a more precise shape. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof, so you can use it right in the shower. The Chairman Pro isn't just for those daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up for a few days. And with up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you'll have plenty of juice to go from Santa's beard to smooth as a snow angel. It even has a travel lock to make sure it doesn't get turned on in that bag, and an LED spotlight to help you see every detail, ensuring nothing gets missed. The Chairman Pro is available. Get it today. Experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping. Go to manscaped.com. Use code DROPSHOT.
Next is audio. Okay, so for the patrons listening, we talked lots about audio on our most recently released Patreon bonus episode, patreon.com/dropshot. And I had said a lot about it that I'm not going to really rehash here. Here's what I'll say, because I played more after that recording and I played more this morning. You know what? The audio is actually decent right now. It is not as bad as I made it sound, sort of. I am pretty often hearing people I should hear. And when I'm hearing someone faintly or not as well as I would like, the reason for that most of the time is because everyone is a fucking rat now and they're crouch walking and ADS walking. I don't know what it is, but today especially, actually since the integration, honestly, and especially today, every kill cam, man, is like, I think I hear a guy, I'm not really sure, because it's pretty faint, but it's definitely audible. And then he just walks around the corner, ADS'd, and kills me. And then I watch the kill cam, and I'm like, how did I not hear this guy better? Oh, that's right, because he's a cunt. Like, it's not even the game's fault. I heard the guy as much as I should have. But everyone's just like ADS walking around, and it really pisses me off. But that's not the game's fault. That's not Treyarch's fault. People want to play like cowards, then, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't make walking loud. At least you shouldn't. So, like, that's really annoying, but it's not the game's fault. When people are running around, you do hear them pretty damn well, depending on where they are. And you can also tell where it's coming from. Like, the audio is actually pretty good right now. The big problems I have with the audio at this point are my own footsteps are still too loud.
Yeah, your own character model, everything is too loud.
The footstep reverb of my own character model still baits me. I'm starting to learn what it sounds like now, though. I'm starting to be like, okay, that's just my own reverb. But it's cringe, just take it out. My friendly footsteps still sound exactly like enemy footsteps. Change that lots. And also, it really depends on what surface the person is walking on, which has kind of always been true, and which, again, I'm fine with in concept, but the concept needs some adjustment. So when someone's walking around on metal, I hear them very clearly, as I should, because in real life, they would sound really loud. Yeah, okay, good. When they're walking on concrete or running on concrete or whatever, I can hear them pretty clearly. Which I should. Good. When they're running on sand, they make no sound whatsoever, and they should make more of it. So I know by design, the guy who ran up behind me, looped around me, and then killed me today on the beach of Area 99. I know he should have been quieter than if we were on metal at the time, but he should not have been as quiet as he was, which is to say, utterly silent. There is no audio on sand whatsoever, at least on Area 99. So my pro tip for you in the audio department is mainly to stay away from soft surfaces. One thing I haven't really gotten to try yet, or at least mentally flagged, is like dirt/grass. So I am very curious what it would sound like if an enemy was running up to me on Urzikstan in the hills above Cargo, between Cargo and Popov. I'm very curious what footsteps sound like on that surface, that grass. I don't really know. I suspect probably too quiet, but certainly on Area 99 sand, way too quiet. I literally am dead serious. For only that reason, you should not ever be in that area of Area 99. It will get you killed. If I was on metal, if I heard that guy who ran up to me today, I zap him so hard, like so easily, but I didn't hear him at all. So I hope they make sand audio louder. Again, it shouldn't be as loud as metal. That's fine, but make it louder than it is now. And they probably are going to have to do the same thing, or I would want them to do the same thing for like grass surfaces, but I'm not 100% on that.
That audio
but
sounds fine.
Large, audio is actually pretty good. So what did you say? Sorry.
I remember specifically fighting some guy in Urzikstan like 2 days ago, east of Lowtown on the hill where that radio tower is, and him and his teammates were running up the hill, and I heard all of it, and that's all like grass and everything right there too.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Then maybe it's just the sand then, which would be good.
There is a ton of sand on Area 99 though. I mean, half the map is just sand.
Yeah, but no one ever plays in that area. Oh, you're talking. Yeah,
I mean, everything, but
too.
Well, like between every POI, it's a lot of sand too. In certain areas.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I don't know. Even then, it's definitely hit or miss, because literally the last time I played also, it's some guy sprinted up on metal and I never heard him, because I literally remember saying like, oh, cool, this guy's just running on metal 2 feet away and I still don't hear him. So it's all hit or miss, but it's obviously way better than when the game launched. It's playable, but nowhere near
it's playable.
What we had in MW3 at one point, as of now.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is sometimes fairly inconsistent too. Yeah. Even on surfaces you would expect to hear, you just like won't hear them super well or at all. That could probably be like more occlusion issues, but I think, the audio is actually in a pretty good spot. Loath as I am to say that. Although I'm happy about it. I mean, it's really nice being able to hear things. That's really good. So yeah, I think that might be why people are like ADS walking around a lot. They're just, I don't know what it is, but it's funny too, because I'll watch kill cams and because I'll be like, how did this guy know I was here? And then I'll watch the kill cam and I'll be like, oh, he heard me extremely clearly with great directionality too. Yeah. I was on top of what is that POI called?
Reactor.
No. Manufacturing.
Yeah, we're in that area a lot. Tip.
Yeah, I was on the north tip of manufacturing on the roof, and I was running around, and there's a guy underneath me, and I like peeked one door, shot him a little bit, he shot me back a little bit. I had advantage, so he like ran away, but then I saw his teammate coming, so I went back up to the roof, and then I was gonna peek the other door. So I like run across, I jump down, and he's just pre-aiming exactly where I am. And I was like, oh, this guy's just cheating. So then I watched the kill cam. He absolutely wasn't. He just had really good audio, like heard me, and you could tell exactly where I was. And he pre-aims exactly where I am, but it's so obvious from the audio. I'm like, oh, he wasn't cheating at all. He just heard me really well. But that's good. Like, I'm glad the audio is actually in a pretty good spot. I actually, today anyway, honestly, have not had much inconsistency. I was playing mostly Area 99, to be fair. I played 1 game, or 2 games of Urzikstan, I think. One game of Urzikstan. But yeah, like, audio's been pretty good, and I'm very happy about that. But stay away from, the beach, I guess, which would be like loading bay, like south of that and east of that. Like that, really bad audio there. So there's another tip. Yeah.
Was Urzikstan still sweaty? Worse than Area 99?
That lobby wasn't actually.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
Not very sweaty at all. They were pretty bad, honestly. Dude, everyone's just stacking right now. Like Area 99 and that one game of Urzik we
It
had
makes
today,
sense.
everyone is just stacking so hard.
It's still just early in the game. This is what happens every year. Because even us, when we play, I notice right now we stack way more than we did, a few months ago in MW3. Kind of all tend to push the same thing, and it's because it's new. You're not fully comfortable with everything. You're still trying to learn the ins and outs of the map. Like, the general layout of like Area 99, but you're still trying to learn all the buildings. So you're chasing these people down, trying to find them. You're just, I don't know. It seems like you're more likely to be with your teammates. And then another thing too is just having elims honestly probably makes people stack more, because then they're going to get more elims
they
per
feel
match.
like they're getting kills.
Yeah, exactly.
Classic.
Yeah. But yeah, so some other things for me, I don't even know what they do about this, but Area 99 dies off extremely fast. We've had this issue in Rebirth before, but this is worse than Rebirth is even. Like, you play trios, quads, there are literally sub 10 people left by Circle 3 almost every single time. Every single time. We had one lobby, the end of Circle 2, there were, I think, 8 people left. It's insane. It just dies off so fast. So I'm not sure if they just need to adjust resurgence timers or if we need to add more players. I think the map can take more players. I don't know if it would make the gameplay better or worse, though, necessarily. I kind of just think maybe like resurgence timers need to be adjusted or something like that, because dies off too quickly. But the game, it never feels super, super hot like Rebirth does, in my opinion. Maybe it's just where we go generally, like... Maybe too, because there's a lot of verticality kind of. So say like we land loading bay, like I land on the crane. You guys usually land on the Nuketown building that's hanging from the crane. Other people land below. So maybe it's like there are a lot of people at that POI, but the verticality is there, whereas on Rebirth it just isn't. So if you land like Control Center at Rebirth, you're sure there's a building with different levels, but you're going to be fighting people that whole time. So maybe like the map can accept more because of that reason. So we can, get 8 players or so and it wouldn't feel too hot then. It's hard to regain. I find that might be it too. I don't know that it hasn't felt that way to me, because there's so many good ground loot guns. Sometimes like it feels like if you land, you can actually get set up very easily, because any gun you pick up is going to be good pretty much.
I feel like regaining is pretty easy actually on Area 99.
I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think we can definitely get some more players on the map. I'm not sure if I can see them doing that, but regardless, after like 7 minutes, it's just dead and super boring.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree.
You're like fighting like the same 4 guys for the next 5 minutes basically.
Yeah, Pat, if you're having trouble regaining, it's honestly probably just because you don't know the map very well yet. Once you know it more, I think you'll find regaining is actually a lot easier on this map than Rebirth for sure. Vondel,
regaining on Rebirth is hard as shit. Rebirth is impossible. Regaining on Rebirth is
very hard. Yeah, because of how the map is laid out. But Area 99, I think it's I'm almost positive that it's larger. Well, no, I'm not. It feels larger. It feels a lot easier for me to regain on this map, honestly. Yeah. I don't know exactly why. Maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of... I think it'll become easier for you to regain as you learn the map more, and you learn like, okay, the 2 POIs I usually go are hot, so I have to go somewhere I've never been before, so I don't... Like, I'm running into this door. Oops, I'm outside. I didn't know that, and then you're dead, and that's why it's hard for you. Once you, like, know it more, I think it'll probably be easier for you, but...
I'm being dead serious though too, is like the lobbies on Area 99 have not been very hard. So like actually we don't die early on that often at all. Like most matches of Area 99, I legitimately feel like I don't die and have to respawn until like more than halfway through the match. I don't know. It's not, that's the other thing with Rebirth too, is everybody's so good always every single match. So when you do die, you just can't regain because you're getting just killed out of the air before you even land.
Yeah.
So it could be that too, because Area 99 is not extremely sweaty right now. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We need some adjustments there. It's boring that it dies out so quickly.
It's very weird too, because this is a very unique case, in my opinion, where lobbies die off way too quickly on Area 99. but it doesn't really feel to me like it needs more people, honestly.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
It does not feel like there are not enough people, and that's why the lobbies are dead by Circle 3. That is not really what's going on. Whereas, like, you know, we've had this before, mostly on Big Map, when we had 100 players. It was like, oh yeah, the lobby's dead because there just aren't enough people. Like the mid game is, or the early game's also dead. The mid game is dead, and the end game is dead. Just add more players. Like, it's pretty obvious in that case. But in this case, lobbies are really dead, really like early comparatively, but not in the early game. Like, it feels like very early game when you drop, there is like an appropriate amount of people. It doesn't feel insane. Like, oh man, what was that map where it was like a joke? Was that a Sheikah? Where it actually made us laugh how insanely hot it always was everywhere at all times. I think it was when Ashika first dropped. It was like 300 players, and it was funny how hot it was everywhere always. And we did a podcast about it, and we were laughing at how absurd it was. Like, it's actually fun that it's so insane. And then they lowered the number of people. I'm pretty sure it was Ashika. Maybe some of you listening remember this, but I very distinctly remember talking about that.
Interesting.
Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but yeah, it's weird. When you drop, it feels like a normal amount of people, but the lobbies die too quickly. Mm-hmm. So is the answer to add more players? Maybe, but not too many more, because I feel like if you added more than 8, it would be too many players. So I think you're correct. I think maybe we start by adding 4 and also heavily adjusting the resurgence timers so that squads are not getting wiped as much as they are right now.
Yeah.
Or just add more options to lower resurgence timers. Because I don't know if those things are all the same as they used to be.
It feels like, that way. There seems like there are millions of them. Getting a down, getting a full, running, opening chests, all of them are still there.
You're probably right, yeah. But maybe they just need to be lower now for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's not like a one-off. It's every single game. The mid-game is just dead. Like, everyone's dead. I actually don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
very weird. I would like adjusted timers and then maybe like 4 more people also. But something needs to happen 100%. It's like not fun right now.
Like, it feels like we land, there's so much money, so you buy a loadout within 2 minutes at the most. It feels like you fight for 3 minutes and then it's just dead, and at that point it almost feels like it's just almost end game already. Like, there's nothing going on. Is there no spawn protection right now as well? I'm pretty sure there's spawn protection. It might not be as long as it's been in the past, but I don't know. See, I find it kind of easy too, because like with the knife and how quick you can sprint, unlimited attack sprint, I find when I'm the last one alive, if I have to sprint away, it's easier than ever to stay alive because I just keep running, and then it's like it feels like every second you're knocking 2 seconds off the resurgence timer because you're on the move and you get that bonus and it knocks 2 seconds off. So I don't really know what it is. It could even just be the map design, how like the sight lines are long, that you're getting shot from different people all the time constantly, which definitely happens. You'll be in a fight with some team at pods and some guys on reactor will literally just be shooting you and sniping you as well. So it's like you end up being shot by other people. So then it's like they're helping, the team reactor is helping the team at pods wipe us, and then the team at reactor is then also wiping the team at pods quickly. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's every single match and it dies off way too quickly, and something needs to change there. Next thing, the ground loot on the map itself is weird. There are a lot of areas where there are just no chests, but then when you find the loot, there is a lot of it, and the loot's very good, and the ground loot is very good. They actually made extremely good ground loot builds, and there are a lot of like 10 attachment builds. They're really good 5 attachment builds, and the thing is still in the game too, where they have certain builds placed in specific areas of the map. Like the crane that I land at every single game, I land there because there is a gold sniper. So I pick up that gold LR, and then I have that right away, and I start using that. There's one top reactor too. So it's fun that they add those little things in. But there are a lot of games where, like, again, since it just feels like it dies so quickly, and I just want to get on the move and start fighting people, I'll just use a ground loot secondary, and I feel like they're all just totally usable. Like for one of the first times in Warzone, I don't feel the need to just immediately have both of my guns, because everything else.
Yeah.
I guess that's also because the guns just, even a fully decked out gunfighter build still doesn't feel that great. So using a 5 attachment ground loot gun feels just about as good as my fully built custom gun.
Right.
So maybe that's why too. They all feel so similar no matter what attachments you put on them, because it feels like the attachments don't do anything. But regardless, the ground loot's cool, and I like how they have all those guns placed around the map still. It's a fun little thing.
Yeah, one thing I don't love though, especially on Area 99, actually exclusively on Area 99, excuse me, is there are 100x the number of ground loot orange snipers that will one-shot me in ground loot than there should be. Lots, too many. The reason I know that is because I have been third-party sniped by Tom, Dick, and also Harry on the crane 400 meters away from me far too many times. Far too many times. And they all have snipers. Like, I'll look at the kill cam. I'm fighting on the roof of fucking pods. I down a guy. I'm like one shot. I'm running into the pod. And then I get downed and I'm flabbergasted. What's going on? I have no idea. I'm dead. And then I watch the kill cam and it's Tom hard scoping. And then I see Dick and Harry in his peripheral vision also hard scoping, all in my direction. Got it. We need fewer snipers as ground loot. And it's that simple. I like snipers. I like that they can one shot. I think they deserve a place in the meta. I don't think they're unbalanced. I think snipers are appropriately balanced from what I can tell so far. But there are too many of them as ground loot, and too many people are using them, and it's pissing me off lots. That's kind of all. I don't even know if this is a serious point. I don't know if they actually should remove more of the snipers from ground loot, but it is very annoying how often I am getting just third-party harassed by snipers. Really pisses me off. So I guess to fold this into a tip, don't ever be in the open on Area 99. No matter where you are, there's a sniper looking at you, I promise. I promise. It's very annoying. So keep that inside of your mind. But sniper glint, very noticeable. Very easy to see where people are shooting or aiming at you from, which is a good thing. Again, snipers I think are actually like quite balanced right now. I really like the spot they're in. So, not that I snipe, but I think it's good for the game. Yeah. So, other than that, not really much else to kind of say, honestly. I have been having a good amount of fun, and the prestige system has really, really helped with that. Very fun to prestige, use all my tokes. Oh, another thing, another pro tip. This isn't a pro tip, it's just annoying. You will get Warzone dailies that are impossible for you to do. So keep that in mind. For example, I had a daily today, get 5 kills with the dexterity perk equipped. Oops, I don't have that unlocked yet. Got it. Thanks for that. That's annoying. So for those of you who are prestiging though, we can talk you through a couple quick things. Talked a lot about prestiging in multiplayer. I think the same kind of philosophy applies in Warzone. I've said most of this before. I don't know if it was publicly or on Patreon or maybe a mix, but if you are prestiging in Warzone, a couple things you should keep in mind. Number one, every single MW2 and MW3 weapon will not relock. So you will always have good enough weapons to use. Even if you have no weapon blueprints, you can use an SVA and you can use a striker or a static, and you're going to be fine, like totally fine at level 1 without having to spend any tokens. Not to mention any BO6 gun that you have any weapon blueprint for, including blueprints you will unlock by prestiging, you will have permanently unlocked and you can edit it to your heart's content. So do not ever use a token on a weapon, period. You don't need to. And DLC guns, you can't use a token on them even. So like the Krig and the SOG, if you've unlocked those in the battle pass, they're permanently unlocked. You don't have to, they won't become relocked ever when you prestige. Don't use your tokens on those, your permanent unlock token. And what I think you should do is start by unlocking the 3 perks that you use in Warzone. And which of those 3 perks, whichever one's the highest level. So for me, I used my first token on Quick Fix because that's unlocked at level 51. And me, being the fucking idiot I am, thought the perk would work. I thought the perk was in working order. So I said, oh, this is the latest perk that I want to use that is unlocked because it's level 51. I'm going to use my token on that. Idiot. It's broken, so don't do that. What's the next one? Survivor. That's what I used my next one on. What will I use my next token on? It's either going to be alertness or tempered. I don't know which of those two I'm going to use it on yet. Probably alertness just because it's a higher level unlock, and or tracker, but almost certainly not tracker because tracker unlocks I think at level 27. So I'm going to do one of the yellow perks, and then I'll have 2 perk slots: survivor, which is blue, and then alertness or whatever, tempered, which is yellow. And then I'll do tracker, which is red. And then when I prestige next, I'll have every perk I want and 2 great guns. Probably every gun I want too, because I'll have so many blueprints by then from the battle pass and from prestiging. And then the only thing you'd be missing potentially are wild cards and equipment. Frags are totally usable and unlocked at level 1. So I am not going to be spending a token on equipment until Prestige 9 when there's nothing else to spend tokens on. And then equipment, I've already used one on stims. I'll probably use it on smokes though. But again, I'm going to go through from highest level unlocked to lowest level. I'm going to scroll and I'm just going to look, what do I use in my optimal ranked Warzone loadout? What's the next highest thing on the list that I use? Unlock that. So then every time you prestige, you get to your full kit sooner and sooner and sooner until you, again, whatever, prestige 8, you already have used your tokens on everything you want. So then you can use it on, I don't know, something else. Maybe a zombies thing for your zombies dailies or something, or multiplayer, whatever. But that would be my recommendation. But all of this is to say, I'm very pleased to report, especially now that you have all your legacy double XP tokens, by the way, prestiging in Warzone is just totally not a big deal at all. It's not punishing at all. It feels somewhat, you feel somewhat hamstrung for like 3 games. And then you're like, all right, I have decent perks. I have like great guns. I'm fine. Like this is fine. Mm-hmm. Plus with lootable perks too. Like I don't have tracker unlocked yet. I almost do. And that's absolutely the perk I would otherwise be running. But guess what? Tracker is in the ground loot pool right now. So I have tracker every game. I find it all the time. So it's like, I don't care. I'm absolutely always prestiging instantly. And it's fun, man. Got it. It's fun. I'm like doing Warzone dailies. I've never ever done a Warzone daily before. Never. It's never happened until now, which is very cool. But yeah, the audio fix, or the audio improvement, I should say, let me settle down, has really made the game a lot more fun. And also I'm pleased to report, probably just because I was playing in the morning and I haven't played in the morning in a while, cheaters, none. I saw none today. And I played for like 3 hours. No cheaters, not one. If they were really bad because I didn't notice. But no, like no one was cheating in my lobbies today. I played mostly Area 99. And again, we talked about this on Patreon. If you want to fight the worst possible players, play Plunder. But if you also want to play Resurgence or BR, then play Area 99. Those are where the worst players are. But even on the game of Urzikstan we had, not very good players at all.
No.
Just a lot of stacking. Even on Urzikstan, which was weird.
All the
So,
cheaters run
yeah.
ranked multiplayer. Yeah, that's probably kind of true, actually.
That's probably true, honestly. Yeah. So when ranked comes out, I mean, let me be clear: cheaters have not gone away. They're just napping right now.
Yeah.
But like, when the audio is good enough, which it is right now. Well, when the audio is decent, which it is right now, and when I don't see cheaters, hey, guess fucking what? The game's fun. Like, wow, shocker. So I'm glad I'm having fun for now, but I know it's a flash in the pan, as it were. So yeah. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's no, I wasn't saying anything. That's just kind of what it comes down to for ranked. It's like, oh, cool, rank's coming out, and then it's like you really sit there and think about it. It doesn't matter. It's going to be infested with cheaters. Just like Rebirth
even
was.
Worse than multiplayer.
And this is going to feel worse because I've waited for Big Map Rank to come out for a year now, and it's going to be quite literally unplayable because of the dog shit fucking anti-cheat in this game. So that just really sucks. So
yeah,
it won't be good and it won't be playable. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you're excited about it, don't. Sorry, your day has been ruined. It's
Unless
not going
you
to be fun.
Cheat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wonder how many cheater listeners we have. There's got to be at least some guy out there who cheats and listens.
Oh, there are probably a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like statistically. Yeah. Dude, Bay, oh, that is still one of my favorite pictures I've ever posted. Was my face
just distraught.
He looks he's so defeated. God damn it, it was so funny, dude.
Just a deep depression, huh?
Oh, he was spiraling. By the way, no backlight in his room. The only light is like the dull, just soul-sucking glow of the monitor on his face. And he's just, as he gets spin-botted.
Yeah, that'll happen. I just saw a clip before we went live of Swag, of some guy spin botting in the pregame lobby against Swag.
Oh, no.
He was like level 45.
No.
Oh, it was funny.
Yeah. Oh God, dude. I've been watching you back out of lobbies for 30 minutes. You finally thought you got one, and you missed him. Yeah. Oh man, it's so funny. It sucks though. But yeah, that's gonna happen again, 100%. Yeah. And yeah, here's another pro tip for you, by the way. Do not be fooled into thinking that the guy who killed you, who was awfully aware and good and aimed well, was a legitimate player just because he had a World Series of Warzone calling card and or a mastery camo. Here's the reality. The guy is cheating and also using an unlock tool to just unlock calling cards he did not earn and camos he did not earn. I think the reason people do that is so that you see it and you're like, oh, this guy must just be really good. I guess that explains why he knew I was coming even though he shouldn't have been able to, and also because he didn't miss a bullet. He's just a really good player that I've never heard of. No, he's not. He's just a cheater, and he's using that to try to fool you. Don't let him. Report him anyway. If anyone kills you and they're good, report them. I'm not kidding. Just report them.
I don't think my reports have done anything for like 4 months now.
They never have or will.
They used to work,
so
and they just don't anymore. I think I've been like shadow banned from
actually.
reporting people, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benny! For the Prime sub, man. Appreciate that.
Wow.
It's just a free sub, you know?
Bonfican, yeah.
Twitch Benny Prime. Bonfican, yeah. With that Twitch Primer. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I know, Bay. I saw that tweet. Yeah, Ricochet tweeted something like, "Oh, we're aware of the cheaters in multiplayer ranks. Don't care." Yeah, I mean, how many times have they said this? How many times have they said, "Oh, we're doing a new like doxing what is it? What do they call them? The little troll jobs they do. What do they call those?
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called.
Interventions or something?
No.
What do they call those?
Oh, what do they call them?
There's some stupid name for it.
Yeah,
instead of just
really
banning them,
name.
They do some dumb shit. Anyways, whatever. Every time they post about that, it's like, okay, I don't care. They're just just get rid of them. Just shut up and get rid of them at this point. And yeah, JK in Discord, by the way, said he posted a tweet and I said, I hate Activision devs. And he said, you hate them when they talk and you hate them when they don't talk.
Correct.
What do you want from them? And that's exactly what I said. I said, yeah, that's correct. I hate them when there are cheaters in the game, and I don't hate them when there aren't cheaters, and I hope that helps. And that's really what it comes down to. Because when I had said, oh, it bothers me that Infinity Ward doesn't even communicate with the player base, obviously what I meant was there's a game-breaking bug or the Demon Polygon Transmog glitch where you pick up your gun and then you can't see your screen because your weapon model is 100 times bigger than it needs to be. What I meant was, hey, when that is a bug, Infinity Ward, get on Twitter and say, hey, we're aware of the bug. Here, the fix is coming in 3 days. Then I can say, cool, I'll just not play for 3 days. I'm totally fine with that. And we're solved. We're good. Thank you, Infinity Ward. That's the type of communication I'm talking about. Obviously, what I don't mean when I say I want dev studios to communicate with me more is I certainly don't mean I want them to just continue to fucking lie to me like Team Ricochet does. That's not the type of communication I'm asking for, obviously. So yeah, it doesn't matter if they're going to keep talking, whether or not they do talk, if they're going to lie when they're talking, which is all Team Ricochet does because it's not a working anti-cheat and it never will be. So you're absolutely correct. Learn what I mean. Learn what I meant, rather, is what I said. Got it. And fuck Ricochet. It pisses me off lots. Now, again, luckily, today, didn't see any. Pretty happy about that. Will I keep playing today? Possible. Will I see cheaters if I do?
Yeah.
Extremely likely. Yeah. They're waking up now. They're parachuting their Adderall as we speak.
Yeah.
And by the time I'm ready to play again, they will be just drinking their Soylent, turning off, closing their blinds, and fucking my ass hard with hacks. Yeah. So yeah, the game is fun when there aren't cheaters because the audio has been improved primarily. But the key takeaways for those of you listening, couple of them. Number 1, play on Area 99. Number 2, play as early in the day as you possibly can because the lobbies are genuinely easier. Not only because cheaters are asleep still, because they're degenerates and they have major depressive disorder, as they deserve to, but also because normal people are at work. So the people who are online are like invalids and the unemployed and other losers who aren't really good at anything, including video games, such as myself. So I'm great at video games. I'm all the other things though. But even if there were no cheaters, like the lobbies are genuinely just easier in the morning. And also, you play better earlier in the day. The longer the day goes on, the worse you're going to play. You're fresh, you're spry.
Play so much better in the morning.
I genuinely play so much better in the morning. You're less tired, you're more alert, all of that. Yeah. And then another thing, again, try those MW3 guns. That would be another takeaway for you. So, yeah. Anything else? Big dog?
No. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. So, next week we will have a schedule.
For sure.
Not really sure what we're going to be doing. It is Thanksgiving on Thursday. So we will not be doing a live episode on Thursday. That's 100% true. So there are really 3 options for what's going to happen. Option 1, we pre-record an episode. Option 2, we release a previously released already Patreon bonus episode. Option 3, we don't do an episode at all. We just do one next week. And you can go fuck yourselves. Those are the options. That's what'll be happening next week. But what won't be happening is a live episode on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that absolutely won't be happening.
We
also won't be pre-recording an episode because we have to record the last Patreon episode on Tuesday because that's the last day we basically have to do it. So we also won't have time to pre-record a full episode. So you guys are either getting fucked or you're getting a Patreon gone public. And you'll figure it out. And you'll see on Thursday. You'll be there for the surprise. Maybe if somebody donates like $500, we'll go live and do a live pod on Thursday. But if we don't, then we certainly won't even think about it. Yeah. So
donate $500 to find out if that was true or not.
Yeah.
And you won't be disappointed. And also, speaking of the Patreon, we just released one this morning, and that's kind of why we don't have too much to say today, is because we got out a lot of those thoughts on Patreon already. Where we just talked a lot about Warzone. A lot of it was just bitching and moaning, and some people get annoyed by that, but we've gotten much more feedback in the opposite direction, actually. Like, hey, I'm very happy to hear you mad about the game, because I'm mad too.
Yeah.
Based. So we did a lot of that, but we also had some other like interesting conversations about, number one, the MW3 guns. We went into that a lot, but it was prior to me having actually tried it. So kind of gave you some updated information on that. But basically we were correct in everything we predicted about the MW3 guns in that episode. And then also, there were other things too, but the only other one I can remember right now is the Resolute perk. We talked about whether or not that is worth using, and I am still completely undecided. Dude, maybe I'm retarded, but I don't notice it. Like, I was running Gung Ho today, and then I switched back to Resolute again because Cope was like, dude, Resolute is so good. And that's what his voice sounds like. And I was like, all right, I'll try it again, man. And then I went back to it and I was like, okay, I don't know, man. It's obviously doing something.
Well, you're just better than Cope. You don't get shot. He gets shot constantly because he's not good at the game.
That's what I think it is. Yeah, because like he just likes to run around in the open and whatever.
He's not very
be
good.
Shot at. So for him, it's really good because it helps him do his favorite thing, which is be shot at by other people. I don't play that way because I like to play first-person shooter games correctly, which is to say I like to shoot others but not be shot myself. So yeah, maybe it's less helpful for me. But we did talk a lot about that and a lot of other kind of little thoughts, tips, tricks, brainstorm kind of stuff. It was fun. Yeah. If you're a Warzone player, now is a great time to join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Dropshot. We will be back next week. Well, at the very latest, we'll be back live in 1 week from today, but we will probably release something for you on Thursday as well for you to enjoy for your Thanksgiving. So that's it. We love you guys. Thank you very much again to Pimlovsky for the 11 total subarenas on Twitch. W. Pimilovsky, Eastern Bloc, Chad. Hope you're alive, by the way.
You think?
Because you might be near the war zone. That's a near the war zone sounding name, isn't it?
Could be.
By the war zone, I mean the real one in Kiev, by the way. That's what I'm referring to. Pimilovsky sounds like he lives by that.
He might.
Yeah, I don't
never know.
Could be wrong. So stay alive so you can keep gifting subs. Don't be selfish and die. And then also Benny, again, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Stay humble. We'll see you when we fucking see you. And happy Thanksgiving. Give us money for Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yeah.
Also,
stay humble.